Hello.
All right. Welcome to the fourth episode of Brothers on the Block. You see, we got us a little theme music this week. We trying to step it up for y'all. We trying to step it up for y'all. Got a little theme music. We're gonna see what we can put to that as we go on with that. But I just want to thank y'all for being here today. We have with us today. We got Brother AJ Banks. We also got Brother Nation, and we got Brother Maryland, all here to talk about different sports, different topics, different things that we see in pop culture and so forth, but also bringing you just a little bit of the good word that we know in Christ Jesus. Amen. But in that, the first thing that we want to talk about is something that we kind of talked about a little bit toward the end of last week, and it really kind of was brought out because we talked about who's the GOAT of the NBA, who is the best of all time. And in talking about the best of all time, which a consensus was made that in that grouping, you had to put Michael Jordan in that best of all time, right? Part of that best of all time, when you talk about Michael Jordan, is talking about his sneaker game. That his part of his great wealth is having that Jordan brand. There's a whole brand by itself. And so we said, hey, after the show, hey, what's your sneaker game looking like growing up and maybe even today? And so I wanted everybody kind of tell their story about what kind of sneakers they had. Brother Jason, you good?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you. I hear you. And so since my brother got product placement, I think a couple of us we had little stories and the pictures and whatnot. But my man, he said, I got product placement for you. He talking about get the Google Sense out, AdSense. So when you buy these Jordans, you'll get a little cut. But we starting with the sneaker game of Jason Maryland.
Well, man, I got started probably way back, and it had to be like third grade for me. And I mean, that's taking it way back, right? What shoes? Those British Nikes. That was
wow.
British Nikes and Troops. Those were the first two pair because I got them both at the same time. Begged my mother for them. And I was looking at all the other kids coming to school, and people was going crazy. Oh my God, you got those? Never had that experience until I got a pair of Troops and some British Nikes. And I come walking into school one day on Dress Down Friday because I went to a private school, so we had uniforms all week. So you look forward to Friday. Friday was like I was laying my outfit out all week, Monday through Thursday night. I'm like, what am I gonna kill him with this Friday? I can't do that because John wore that last week. I can't wear those. So man, I walked in. I waited, last person in the classroom, and I couldn't even get to my seat. Somebody was like, "Yo, he got on those, on the Troops." And I mean, it was like that whole sense of, yeah, you see it, But as the years went on, though, I mean, my taste in gym shoes is it's kind of all over the place. I got Jordans. I have Air Force Ones. Like I have a pair of Air Force Ones in the closet I probably haven't worn in about 15, 20 years. And they're in pretty immaculate shape. Actually, I can't fit them anymore. My foot grew bigger than what the size of them were, but they were such a special pair. I've held on to them ever since. It's probably the oldest pair that I have of shoes in this house. But anything that tickles my fancy right now, mostly shoes that I had when I was coming up. So anytime they re-release them, and I can get my hands on them, I'm usually trying to get a pair and put them up just because it takes me back. It's that whole nostalgic feeling, because it takes you back to a certain time in life where things were, good, great, or whatever the memories you have attached, to those shoes. The ones I don't have are the Jordan, are the blue, gray, and white 13s. Skipped school for those senior year '98 to go stand in line for them. Got the shoes. We get back to school at lunchtime, and we were met out in the parking lot on the way in the door by the principal. It was like, yeah, all four of you guys. We had Saturday detention at my high school was also private, so yeah, we had Saturday detention. You didn't do detention, and they started making it where you wasn't able to pass classes and graduate. So, grandfather was on me about that, but I had to have those 13s. But yeah, I mean, it's all over the place. I'm a connoisseur. I see some of these folks online, with their sneaker collections, thousands of shoes. I can't see myself doing that, but certain relics, I'm pretty sure I can dig in the closet and pull out some old Jordan 1s that haven't seen the day of light in about 10 plus years. They just take you back. I'm not gonna ramble. I'll take up the whole time frame rambling about these shoes. It's because it's a special place. You know what I'm saying? It's a special place in here.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm all over the map. I have no discrimination. Yeezys, you name it.
Okay, you put the Yeezys out there. Okay, and that's one thing I know about my brother right there. He brings the fashion to the plate. Won't leave it like that. Hey,
let me grab this pair. Y'all keep talking.
Jermaine, so what was your game like?
I didn't get my first pair of name brand shoes until about the 6th grade. They were Fila's. So we went with the Fila's, then graduated to the blue and white Adidas, had some British Knights as well. And then had some regular Nike basketball shoes. And so it wasn't until I started making my own money when I was able to start, buying the more expensive, Jordans, and Air Max. And so I was telling y'all before, it's for me, when I do, whenever I wear a new pair of shoes, it's because of a special occasion, a concert or something like that. And so I have right now in my closet probably a good maybe 5 to 7 pairs of Jordans, brand new, never worn, never taken out of the box, no nothing, just straight from the store in the closet. Same thing as the Air Max and stuff like that. So I mean, if I'm going to a concert or something like that, it might be some Air Max. It might be some Air Force Ones. If I'm on vacation, definitely some Air Max, Air Force Ones. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just some Air Max, Air Force Ones, Jordans. But like I said, if it's over $200, I'm not buying
it. Okay, see? Right. Okay, so that's Jermaine. Now, somebody said, Jermaine, you ain't gonna let that interfere with your concert game, though. You talk about Jermaine in concert.
No.
Jermaine has seen the best of the best. Said Beyonce, Jay-Z, been there. Janet Jackson, been there. He knows all. So,
backstage passes.
Right.
Right.
They say, oh, here comes J Nation. And bring him in. Right.
I guarantee he probably right next to the tour bus when he pull up.
He always got that little lanyard. He always got the lanyard.
Right.
He got a professional lanyard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Man, the green screen is killing these. I turn the green screen, bring them back. But these are from man, these are I got a receipt somewhere. But
Jason professional, he got it in the box.
Look, so these are
the thing in there?
Yeah, these are the Harlem Renaissance Air Force Ones. These were exclusive. This was the Negro League, excuse me.
Okay.
But yeah.
I look scared where you going with that. Okay.
But it's got them on the tongue too. It's got the picture of the players on the tongue.
Okay. Oh man.
It had the premium tag with it. But yeah, I ain't wore these in about 15 years.
Right. Man, okay. I'm glad I'm not behind Jason. That's gonna be AJ
Oh,
No.
Back in.
that's good.
I'm like, man, the game was great.
Put nobody on the spot, man. I'm just we talking
Yeah,
about
he's
shoes.
just a sneaker guy.
I don't have I don't have a box with a certificate in it.
In it.
No,
Oh.
I mean that's top of the line right there. That would got first we brought the box out.
It says Black Fives.
Right.
Black Fives. With the 5 black players.
See, and my shoe box get used for the kids' project. So I know I'll be losing that.
I mean, Jermaine said his goes straight from the store shelf to his shelf.
Out there in that ranch.
So what you got, AJ? What you got?
Oh man, for me, growing up, I mean, it was whatever I can get my hands on, whatever we could put on for that day. But I was always a big Jordan guy. Love Jordan, and one of my favorite shoes, as I said earlier, was the Jordan 12s for a lot of reasons. One was, of course, the Jordan 12. That's when Jordan won his fit 5. That's why he the GOAT. His fit championship. And I just remember, I think I was 9 or 10, and I remember going to school when they came out. Everybody just had them. They were, the hottest shoe out. They wasn't as much as they were now, but couldn't afford them. So I believe my first pair was when I got my first job. I was like, you know what, my first pair of shoes I'm gonna buy, it's got to be some Jordans, and I need a Jordan jersey with it, because you can't get your first pair and not get the 23 jersey with it. It just growing up for me that I love Jordans. I ain't like Jason. I don't got no certificates, but I got quite. I do have quite a bit. And for me, I mean, they're expensive. It's the only expensive shoe that I'm gonna buy. I go out and spend $200, $220, $260 for some Jordans, but it's the only shoe that I would do that for. I wouldn't go do for no Air Max or no Kobe's, nothing like that, because for me, Jordan is what I want. It's when I grew up. I mean, it was what was in. So it just remind me of my childhood, and just knowing that I was able to afford this, go out and get it and afford it on my own. So I'm just a big Jordan guy.
Okay. Well, let me explain. I like that. Brother AJ. Let me explain my game a little bit. My game is not Jason at all, and my money doesn't go like a Jermaine into the concerts. I ain't had these kids. I could do what I need to do, but these kids. And Jason is a collector, so it's not like he buying a bunch this year. He said the certificate one. He said 50. That was last decade. George Bush was still president. That's it. This brother in the game for real. So let me.
Those shoes older than my marriage.
I like that. So for me, I'm like Jason. My first real shoes, and I forgot. I wish I pulled that picture. It was British Knights, until you said them like, yeah, they're my first real shoes that I can remember. That people like, oh, you got some BKs. My dad got that for me when he was about to go to the Gulf War. My dad is kind of, I didn't even realize until we started talking about this topic, he's kind of an intersection for me in my shoe game. So my first real shoes after that were, I had to correct myself, my research was Jason Kids, and they were green and white. They were Jason Kids, green and white. Couldn't find a picture, but they were selling in 1995. Then my next big shoe was some Jamal Mashburns. And that was my sister, my older sister Maria. Happy birthday to her, belated, from yesterday. She was in the Navy and got me like my first, like everybody would know, because Fila was big. Late 90s, Fila was big. Y'all talk about the Grand Hills. I had some Jamal Mashburns. Then going from the Jason Kids to the Jamal Mashburns, I was a big Allen Iverson fan. And this is my little collection right here. I'm gonna tell you. So Allen Iverson, it was white and red. The red was the other part. So I had to slip on. I had to tie my shoe. So I had the slip-ons, and I got that at Hillsboro, Texas, at an outlet store, the Reebok outlet store. It does not even exist today because Hillsboro is not the same, But I had got that going with Teresa and her friends. I said, okay. I saw these shoes, I'm like, these are the perfect shoes. They were red and white, my favorite color. And I said, I can slip them on, won't have to tie. I wore those shoes so much that by the time, and I met Kelly in those shoes. I met Kelly in those shoes. By the time I coached in those shoes,
I'm so concerned.
I met Kelly in those shoes. I dated Kelly in those shoes. I didn't get married on the wedding day, but them shoes were with me in the marriage. And then at some point, it got too tight for a brother feet. and it got too tight. It got too tight. Won't leave it there. And I had to let them go. Then what got me through law school and my first year of marriage with them Starberries. I didn't know what a Starberry was. I went in there and like, oh, this is only like $20. And I'm like, they look clean to me. And I'm broke. I don't have a job. All my money going to this law school. I'm married. And I rocked these little blue and white Starberries until it was time to finally get a job. I got my first, legal in the legal field job. And even I want to say 2 years in, then I finally got my first pair of Jordans, which my Kelly got for me for Christmas. It was red and black. And it was the number. It was 12 that AJ talked about. And my game is not, it ain't Jason's. I admire. I want to be that. I don't even keep up with the shoebox like that. And I don't keep my Jordans. I don't wear that much. Those Jordans, special occasions. You see them out, I'm coming for it. Because that was my most expensive shoe. See, and she was. Because I only got 2 pair. I got a Jordan brand shoe and 1 pair of Jordans. And I refuse to buy my kids any shoes like that. Because I'm like, y'all can't grab these shoes. These shoes you're going to have to wear. And that may be because my dad and my mom, they always put in my mind, these things need to wear out. But now being this kind of stage in my life, I want to have some nice things like Jason. I want to have me some product placement. I want to put my, but I'm hoping that the 2 pair, those 2 pair though, Jason, are the ones in high school that I always wanted. That little patent leather, black and white, or the Carolina blue one. Those are the ones I always wanted. Those shoes, I want to get that. Oh, Nate has a question. Nate says, why are Jordans so overpriced?
It's the demand.
Simple.
Yeah. I mean, the knockoffs is made in the same factory.
Right.
But it's the demand. It's the fact that I can put this price on it and y'all gonna pay for it. I'm pretty sure if Jordans came out the next release and it was like, yeah, these is $230 and they didn't sell, I'm pretty sure that the next release would be $199 to see if that's the sweet spot. But it's a sweet spot in there.
Right.
They got,
go ahead.
Also, keep in mind, it's only the retros that are expensive. I mean, you can go get a pair of Team Jordans or what a lot of people don't know, Jordan is still making shoes. And you can go buy one of those new pairs and they like $80-$90. But it's just when you get to talk about the retros and, bringing them back with the different colorways and stuff, the demand's so high that, people run out and spend that $225 for them. And
consistently, Jordans always look good too. When you buy a pair of Jordan, not the Jordan brand, because they look good too, but the actual Jordans, they will look good. LeBrons, you name your shoe. Because Penny Hardaway back in the day, they were nice. But when you're talking about day in, day out, Jordan is going to come clean.
Yeah, every time.
This, I think, Jermaine, you mentioned, you said you were looking for this pair right here, right? On StockX. So I bought this pair when they had brought them back out for the first time. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna put them on StockX. So I got them, put them up on StockX. By the time they showed up to my door and I put them on StockX, I want to say an email or a news publication came out. They said we're gonna do a re-up. So what do you? No, don't do no re. The price on StockX was $500. And I had like one of 3 size 12s on StockX. So I said, okay, I'm gonna price it at about $475. Somebody gonna buy it, you know. And then soon as that publication came out that they was gonna do a re-up in a month or so, price went back down to $175. I'm like, well, let me open the box, put them on, because that was it. I couldn't get no more money for them because the re-up it saturated the game, and they've been doing that on purpose too, actually.
But I like how
so let me ask you guys, like, where do you all get your shoes? Because I mean, a lot of times I go to the mall, like Finish Line, Foot Locker, or whatever. But do you all buy some of your stuff online? And if so, like, what website do you use?
Those came off of the GOAT.
Okay.
The phone. I use the phone app for that. I mean, you can go to the website too, but the GOAT is, if you're not on StockX, you can go to the GOAT usually and find some other pairs, and they come with a dead stock authentication paper to show that the folks at the GOAT inspected. So you're not getting the wool pulled over your eyes, thinking you're paying for, a pair of authentics, and you got the Chinese, the what are those that show up. But I mean, they were probably about $35 more than retail. Same day they came out, I missed them on the Nike site and went over there and bought them.
Amisha says in the Maryland home, she goes to the outlets. So I guess you take out the quicker money.
Well, that's where the gym, that's the diamond. So being in Texas, like there aren't before the one just outside of Fort Worth heading towards Waco, whatever those outlets are out there, they just closed down.
Yeah, Hillsboro, yeah.
So you had 3 outlets to hit here in town. So now you got Arlington, you got Allen, and then you had out here in Terrell. But the store in Hillsboro was a clearance factory outlet. Yeah. So all the ones in there had the tops already off. Every last shoe in there had the tops already off. So they were already marked down additional. So I got a couple pairs of Jordan 1s out of there for $25. And we talking about the box at $170 on it. But they had been there so long. And then if you keep going towards San Antonio, there's another outlet, and that one was the Overstock store. So stores that had, more of a certain pair, like you may walk in there and find 50 pairs of one pair of Jordans. Like, I've never seen these in stock that much, and why are they this cheap? Because all the other stores that had Overstock sent them there, but I never seen this before in Texas, and I don't pay full price. I mean, I pay full price for those two, but everything else, the outlets that's where they at.
Right. For my kids, I go to what was it, East Bay, and then going to the stores, and you know why I do East Bay? Because as a kid, I always wanted to order stuff out of East Bay. Yeah, come on, somebody know about that East Bay. You remember looking?
Yeah.
It was like Toys R Us kind of. You like, oh man, I would get that. And they had the jerseys. They don't even do all that stuff now. They had different jerseys. Man, I like that.
They had it all. Yeah.
All the spoiled kids would be walking around with that at school, like, man, I'm gonna order this. Be like, no, you not. Here come Friday. Here they come walking in. The jerseys, the shoes. It's like, man, here, and I'm decked out top to bottom in Burlington Coat Factory stuff.
That's right.
You know I'm like, I can't compete with that.
Right. I don't know. Jason and I must live together because I'm like, Jason, that's what I was doing too.
Yeah, I don't believe in paying full price for nothing. I mean, even at this age, if I ain't got to pay full price, I'm not.
Burlington Coat Factory was my first real job. Selling shoes at Burlington Coat Factory, brother. I was like, yeah, I'm about to, because I thought Burlington Coat Factory was all right. I mean, it's good. Ain't no hate. It just like, you start growing up, you like, oh, snap. So there is some other stuff out here.
If I needed a shirt, we about to go out. Burlington Coat Factory.
You're not marrying me without Burlington Coat Factory. I got all my shirts tied. Oh man.
Man, I ain't got no jeans. I ain't got no jeans that match these shoes. I'll be right back.
That's right. And Burlington Coat Factory will work with you as you gain weight. See, it still work with you. Burlington Coat Factory. Yeah. Come on, somebody. That product placement in the feed. Okay, man. Dang, Jason. Me and you for real cut from the same cloth.
I just knew I knew where my pockets was, so I wasn't overstepping my boundaries. I still had to get in the club too. So
Right. And nobody gonna check your tag anyway, right?
nah,
Right.
That's ensemble.
Nah.
not with the purple lights on in there. You can't see nothing there. Hey, how y'all doing? I see y'all. Yeah.
Right. Oh man.
I like that shirt, man. Hey, look, get your hand down. Don't worry about it.
Right. And make sure you have your good starch and you iron. That's all you had to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what the young folks are doing today. But, okay, y'all. So that's and I love that young Nate on here. I don't, Nate, what are you wearing right now as you answering? What you wearing? Because see, as a young person, that's where I kind of may have that disconnect because I'm like, I don't know what shoes I would buy now because some of the shoes I see, I'm like, oh, they all right. They don't look like. Go ahead.
I believe Nate said he wear Vans now. Vans and LeBrons, if I'm not mistaken.
See, I feel like LeBron. I mean, and I could be wrong. There's no LeBron that I like any shoes.
Me,
Really?
No, and not like how.
Yeah,
I can
I got
spend
some
my money.
shoes.
I know, but I can spend my money on some Jordan.
I don't see none LeBron got that's nice. I couldn't buy a pair. I'm sorry.
And I'll be honest. I ain't been at a Foot Locker in a minute too. It's not like how when you got these kids now. I'm not taking y'all in there and spend some money. See, now I'm getting my parent mindset. If I can by myself, I'm gonna do stuff. But with the kids, they will spend my money.
Let me see if the production manager in the background, please look up those Miami Vice LeBrons and put that picture on the screen.
Because this is the thing. Because this is the thing for me is that I'm going up to DSW. If they ain't got it, we ain't rocking it.
Not DSW.
you can't find. Never mind. I'm not even want to talk about DSW.
But I know you can't, and so you don't get these shoes off East Bay because we ain't looking at the Foot Locker website. No, East Bay, and I'm looking at clearance. See, my mindset getting messed up.
But no, I would rather do DSW because see, when I was growing up, my parents would go to Kenny's shoe store right on Buckner, right next to the restaurant called Bonanza, and get my shoes. So I would rather do a DSW during this.
You didn't go to Big Town to the mall?
No, we went to Kenny's shoe store right there by Bonanza on Buckner.
And we about to close this out in just a second, but I remember my aunt, and I love my aunt. She's great. But she had some Shaquille O'Neal's in the mail for Christmas. And I said, Mama, I'm not wearing. Now, we ain't talking about the Reebok. We talking about when it was the Payless.
Payless brand.
I said, Mama, I can't do that. I wear this. I'm already, because I'm not the popular kid. I don't know, maybe you didn't live that life, but I was a kid.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Boy,
still one.
That's not from, that's not mine. That's not me.
Yeah, ain't my style. Yeah, because you won't never see a pair of Jordans looking like that.
So it's a whatever that fluorescent color. It's a pair of that color that still got the man that whole pack was. I don't even have a pair of LeBrons in the house. But if I can get my hands on that Miami Vice pack, they will be in the closet.
I'm right. I still put on my Starberries if I could, but
yes.
But with all that being said, like I said, it's certain shoes you just did not want to wear because you knew that could give you too much wrong intention. Have you had that? Because I like how Sister Erica talked about the British Knights. That's why I know I'm like, I'm doing something right. Because no one cared about my shoes until I had some British Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then I had the Jamal Mashburn. Oh, you got Jamal Mashburn? Okay. And then, then you get grown. The only person that will look at my shoe game now is Jason. Like, I see with the Jordans. That's why sometimes, like, yeah, let me toss it out here. I'm going to come out once a month. So those are just some of those kind of things, y'all. Those kind of things.
Old school picture of me.
Okay. All right.
I see. You got the little headband there.
Yeah.
You look like a BET commercial back in the day.
Yeah, that's super. Yeah, what was that? That's just 21, 22
Yeah,
year 20, 22-year-old me with when those first came out. Yeah, that's why I had to get them again. It take me back to that moment in life.
Them early 2000s, brother. Them early 2000s. But as we went down memory lane, now let's kind of move forward. On our next topic. So over the weekend, really Sunday, JJ Watt put out a tweet. Now, I don't know if that tweet can be shared. Let's see. I think she might be working on that, but it says JJ Watt put on his Twitter. So once again, in the interest of keeping everyone, players and fans, as informed as possible, here's an updated list of what we know as players and don't know as the first group gets set to report at training camp tomorrow. Because rookies had to tune in, had to come in and report to training camp today, and then I think the veterans by the end of this week. And basically, and I know it's a little small there, but basically, and he said, look, hashtag we want to play. I ain't complaining about that. But he's saying that, hey, we really don't know how you want to test and things like that. While this is going on, we already know, I want to say about 70 players have contracted COVID-19 at times and all that. So the question really is, and it kind of came up a little bit in the different sports talk shows, should JJ Watt be concerned? And I want you to see that was tweeted or retweeted with comments or whatever almost 5,000 times. And his tweet here got over 20,000 likes. And there were more players like Russell Wilson, who's Sierra's pregnant, things like that, who have concerns too. Should they care, or should the owners do better by the players in the NFL? I'll put it on the floor.
I am reading the. Go ahead.
For me, I think it's on the actual league. It goes farther than the owners, because I believe it was Roger Goodell that mandated that this is what they need to do. That the rookies was going to have to show up, and I believe also some quarterbacks have to actually report today too. And it's just the fact that there's no process. Coming in, they said they have to take 2 tests, and if they get 2 negatives, then they could go into training and working out. But I think the problem with what they're worried about is that what happens once inside of this. Once we did this, we tested negative this 2 times, but now we contacted it. There's no protocol for those guys, and I think the health issue, even with the doctors that the NFL hired, they were like, "Hey, you guys need some kind of protocol or some kind of steps versus than what you guys are doing now." So they need to do more. I mean, they want to play, but I mean, safety is more important right now.
Jermaine?
Yeah, I agree with AJ. Definitely, their health and safety are more important than playing football at this point. Because a lot of those guys, have families to go home to. And so I think that they could have, taken a page out of the NBA's playbook, about how they're going to test for COVID and things of that nature. And there should have been like some type of strict protocol, before they even, thought about, bringing, camp, even into play, or even, bringing in a schedule, or even actually playing, what I'm saying, in September. They should have definitely had a strict protocol and said, okay, this is what's going to happen. And this is how we're going to go forward. And so the fact that that's not in place, as a player, I would be really upset, that there's nothing like that in place, because then that's telling me that you're not worried about, my health. You're not worried about the safety of my family. You just want me to get out there and play.
Yeah. To bring some kind of revenue in, because we know there won't be fans. So let's get some kind of revenue. Let's have something. But think about your players first, your employees. I mean, you got to pay the guys. They get sick, they can't play. and where the revenue come in then. So I
Right.
mean, protect your assets. I don't like it.
What you think, Jason?
I mean, well, the NFL has been the quietest of all of the organizations throughout this, because I think it was like, well, it's when everything first started, we're so far out, we're not going to worry. All right, we get to June, still nothing. Now we're getting close. Training camp's going to start up. Now they have, things on the table that they said they're going to put in place. But looking at JJ Watt's tweet, there's still a lot. There's a big, great deal that hasn't been done yet that was promised or said would be put in play. I think there's still, waiting. I think doing all of the stuff listed in this tweet is probably the last thing the NFL wants to do, because that's going to be additional money spent for all these different tests and all the schedules getting rearranged. And I think they're going to try to stretch it out before they have to really get the ball moving on this. I mean, and as bad as it sounds, it's probably going to take somebody popping up with a positive test before they really, put this into the high demand, because all this money on the table and this isn't already in place before you start bringing folks in. I mean,
Right.
what is Mahomes, like, folks signing deals like that, and and the organization, the star of the organization, may be in danger of getting sick. It's they should take. I agree with everybody else. They should follow along with everybody, with all the other leagues, and put those type of protocols in place. I mean, they mention it. There just hasn't been no actions.
And so for JJ Watt, he is one of the first games that will be played, and who's actually coming in earlier is the Texans and the Chiefs. So going back to Mahomes and talking about JJ Watt, you're kind of the first ones up, and then the training camps are all going to be local this time. They can't really travel like how the Cowboys like to travel to California, so they're all local to try to keep down the possibility of transmission. Plus, you got different states doing different things. I think there's a lot that we don't know, a lot that we do know, and a lot that we can put precautions in. I think what JJ Watt was doing Sunday was like, look, these folks are not doing anything, and if I don't say anything, nothing's going to get done. Even though the Cardinals owner just came out the hospital with COVID-19, Ezekiel COVID-19 also, things of that nature. And I think for JJ Watt, he's saying, look, the NFL doesn't have the biggest trust. These are people who, for a long time, hid the situations when you're talking about CTEs, that's concussions and so forth, and they kind of belittle those situations. And then you start seeing people like Junior Seau and people like that kill themselves, hurt themselves, lose their memory, lose their nature. But they made those things small in response really to make even more money. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the NFL owners, there's 32 of them, they never had to put their body on the line.
Right.
So even in this case, they're still in the booth. They don't even have to ever touch or talk to their players. But the players will sometimes treat it like products, or going to be the ones who are going to face the brunt of whatever goes on.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're an NFL player, if you make homes right now, what are you doing? Are you staying at the house, or are you going to demand that your employer does?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I would do is just basically sit out, like other players from other leagues are saying, you know what, I'm just going to sit out, for the rest of the season. I would do that. It's like, I know that you just, gave me this big contract, but, if you really want me to play, then do right by me. If not, then, it's like, color purple, until you do right by me, I'm going to sit out on the bench.
And the thing about Mahomes, for a person like him to do it, it's making a stance or a statement, because I mean, he doesn't have the same concerns as some of the other players, which are my wife pregnant with Russell Wilson, DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Jones, those guys have kids on the way. So for them, if I'm in their situation, it's either give me a protocol or I won't play. Yeah, I made enough money to make it. I made enough to take her home. But if you don't put any, help things in this, I just won't play because at the end of the day, I have to come back home and you contracting it and you bringing it in. It's like, well, what are y'all gonna do if this come in my house? So I wouldn't play.
What do players say to those that say just shut up and play? I mean, that was a lot on the radio, yesterday. I mean, even today, like, you're not even a big deal. Y'all need to shut up and play. You're getting millions of dollars to play. Just shut up and play.
It's not worth my help. It's not worth my help, especially if I'm not a rookie and I'm not trying to, make my money, get my country. I made my money. My health is more important right now. So no, I don't think it matters that they getting paid millions of dollars because it's a public health situation. It's not a financial situation. So no, I'm strictly on the health. No, it don't matter.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement too. It was funny that even on ESPN, right? So I'm listening to ESPN, and one guy, I mean, and I don't know if he's just doing that because hey, we got to talk about something, but he's real adamant that like it doesn't matter, need to go ahead and play. Then his partner said, "But look, dude, we at the house. You at your house right now, and you like, I know I'm in my PJs, but it doesn't matter. They need to get out there and play." But if they were forcing us to go in the studio, what would you do? Then he got kind of quiet. He's like, well, I mean, we're not talking about that. And the thing about it is, I think sometimes we ask people to do things that we're not willing to do. And even if it's $1 million, this is a whole deal. You don't know the after effects, all that stuff. But I mean, we're asking people to do things just like in football. You're not one to put your head out there that could get knocked silly and then you keep on playing. Even if it's $1 million, I mean, what's $1 million? But you can't enjoy it because you can't remember it, like McMahon with the Bears.
Yep.
Yeah, and so to that question, I believe right now, if they don't play, they don't get paid. But I believe that in those negotiations that the player association, NFL Player Association, are trying to make with the NFL, they're trying to put it in there where, hey, if I don't play, I should have that opt-out contract like the NBA did. It's not going to go against. And that's why the NBA is the best model for this because these NFL players want the exact same thing. Like, if I feel like my health is at risk, I should not be able to play, and I should still be able to sign to my contract. You should still be able to, hold your financial obligations because it's a health situation. It's not that, I don't want to play because I got a hangover. It's a serious situation.
What you say, Jason?
So currently on the table, or as it stands right now, the season is canceled before training camp opens. Players will get no further payment. The season is canceled after training camp starts and before the final roster cuts. All players on a 90-man roster who received a accredited season in 2019 or who were drafted in 2020 will receive a $250K stipend. Reduced by all other payments already made to a player this year. So if you've already been paid any money, then but if the season is canceled after the final roster cuts and before week 1, all players on the 53-man roster would get the $250 stipend, and players on the practice squad would be eligible for a $100K stipend.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference with the NFL and the NBA. The NBA, even Major League Baseball, that's guaranteed money.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed money. NFL, you get hurt, you may not get paid. You may get this amount of money. If you look a little slow, if they can get you before you really get hurt, they're gonna cut you. And they don't care. Brett Favre, he knows about that. I mean, you can go all the way back from Johnny Unitas all the way up to today. That the NFL is the league that beats the body up the most. And it's the league that the players get the least, and they go all the way back to college. And the owners are going to get the most out of it. The colleges are going to get the most out of it. Those players are not going to get the most out of it. And that's the kind of the sad part of it for them, because No one's talking about a bubble with them, like the NHL has done, like the NBA is doing. And people are saying they just need to play. From the White House to the Poor House, they just need to go out there and play. Like sometimes how we talk about the kids just need to go back to school. Like, but what does the science say? What's going to happen with what are the protocols? They just need to go out. Just forget about it. But I agree with you, Amicia. They do need to have their money together. The NFL player, the normal average NFL player, is bankrupt within 2 years after playing.
Yep.
I mean, and that's that was a 30 for 30. It was called money.
And those are bad finances. The NFL pride themselves on, oh, when you go through rookie camp, we teach you finances, we teach you how to manage. Well, obviously, whoever teaching it may need to, gone out the door. How smoke teach most of these players going broke this fast.
Right. Well, you got too many people. I mean, this goes with everybody, right? You got too much family, too many hanger-ons. The colleges, I mean, we're not even trying to get in that debate, right? That discussion. But the colleges themselves are not trying to put you in honors classes. They just trying to get you to pass. So ask some school like A&M, you taking a class on how to raise chickens. Now this boy supposed to be why he raising chickens? But these are the kind of things that they will have that in colleges. And then you go back to high school. Are you telling me these kids in AP classes? No, that's star player. We're gonna make sure he passing. And so a lot of these kids haven't passed all the way up. As Jackson Manley. Jackson Manley got to the NFL, could not read. That was the Washington, who we cannot name their name anymore, team. Could not read. Now, I'm not calling NFL players dumb. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that many times those guys have been coddled and been like, oh, you're great. And we pay them that money. And so now I got to get my car, got to get my big house. And then when you walk out, you have no SEO. You got no investment. You got nothing. You didn't trust the wrong people. And now you broke. You are straight up broke.
Yeah.
And that's the average NFL player. 2 years, you're broke, and the average NFL career is 3 years.
Right.
And now these owners who are going to be in their box and saying, y'all go out there and play.
Nah, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it.
So that brings us to the next point, right? So now is a discussion. Would you watch the NFL without fans being in the stands? Because I didn't know about the NBA that 40% of their revenue came from tickets. So I can't imagine what the NFL revenue must be from ticket sales, because we're talking about 60,000 plus seat stadiums. The Cowboys 100,000 seats. Most of these are like 80 and above. Would you watch the NFL while fans in the stands?
I mean, to me, it would seem like training camp. I mean, but even with that, you still have fans or whatever. So it's just kind of like, it's like y'all are practicing basically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for me, I would watch it only because I'm tired of watching like the old stuff on ESPN.
Right.
But I mean, that would be the only reason why I would watch it. But I mean, other than that, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I love my Cowboys, so I'm gonna watch. Fans, 25% capacity, whatever. I ain't going, but I'm gonna watch.
And
they still gonna lose with 25%, no percent, no nothing.
see, that would even that made a topic. Come on, Jason. I mean,
yeah, but I am worried about what it would look like. Cause just get back to Jermaine's point. I mean, it looked like a scrimmage game. You know how when preseason first start, at least for the Cowboys, they have these. Since the Cowboys go to California, they bring in the Rams. So and they practice before the preseason even start. And I'm thinking that's what it's gonna look like. Just these two teams out here, just practicing, saying who fastest is on this route. So it won't be the same because naturally the fans boost the crowd up and make the players, play better, the adrenaline, the excitement. So it's gonna be tough to watch. But as a fan, if you are a fan of the game, not just a team, I mean, you have to watch just to support it.
Jason.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm pretty sure the camera angles and everything is gonna try to make it, to where it looks like it's just a regular game. We just keeping a close shot all the time, but we've already, we're being kind of conditioned for that anyway, leading up to the NFL. There's other events that are going on right now with no one there. I even seen a rap battle this past weekend, which is normally packed, and folks, they stepped up to the stage by themselves. I mean, the whole stage was done up different. It looks sweet, but no one's there, and there's no one to ooh and ah and all that. So I mean, like, businesses are already kind of going that route. I mean, so baseball's kind of hard. It'd be kind of hard to see the Rangers playing in that new stadium with nobody out there to run down. I mean, but that's how it's gonna be. I'm here for it. May not be the best looking, but I'm here for it.
Well, and I would say this. I mean, I like the in-person experience, but I'd rather be at the house myself. I don't have to pay $10 for some soda. So that's just me. But the other thing is, we watch Hard Knocks football, right? On HBO. And it's very limited fans out there. We watching practice. And we're enjoying it because, in part, like you said, the production, it's going to be a lot on, NBC, Fox, and CBS to make sure that production quality looks good. Tight shots, probably. Not trying to do those wide shots. But I don't need the fans, and my hope is that the players don't need the fans to play, because I hope they look at it, and I hate to say this, like us at our job. We don't need the fans at our job. We get our job done. I need you to get the job done. But I know it's different because they really never play without fans unless, like you said, like it's practice. All their life. From Pee Wee all the way up to now, they never played like that.
Right. And I think that a lot of them are still going to have like the same like sound effects that they would in a regular stadium, like with fans or whatever. It's just like there are going to be no people, so you're still going to hear like, what I'm saying, the different, sound effects that you would or whatever, the music that you would, but it's just not going to be any fans.
That's weird.
And it could be, as Jason said, there's been a couple things out there. One thing that I think I'm going to compare it to, I flipped around, when COVID, you get to doing stuff. So I looked at wrestling. I ain't looked at wrestling like in forever.
Yep.
And they have like 20 folks out there. I don't know, are they fans? Are they part of the company? But they got about 20 folks out there. So look, I think you've got 100,000, seat stadium. You can space out 1,000 to maybe 10,000 folks to be out there. The hope is that those folks and the players do not become sick, or that we're going to stop that experience.
Yeah, because I believe the last I heard that they were actually going to have the fans, but it was just going to be 25% capacity. And I think that'll be able to have everybody to spread out. I mean, like you say, don't know how that's going to be, but I think they are planning on at least having that 25%.
And see, and I appreciate you, sister, talking about Jerry. And Jerry got that kind of money to do that.
Live Zoom games.
Right, wasn't the NBA doing that with VR? Like you can act like you were on the court.
I think so.
That's why I'm trying to do all that. And I don't want them to also put little fake, like you seen the Japan baseball or the Japanese baseball, where they have put like robots in there to be like cheerleaders and stuff. I don't need that.
Yeah.
That's extra.
This is what I think. I think that until the numbers go down, as far as like having fans in the stadium, I mean, because even if it's at 10%, you know what I'm saying? I mean, unless you have people that are gonna like tightly police everything, it's still gonna be incidents of people catching it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that until numbers go down everywhere, I think that it should just be players and coaches only. And just like I said, just basically wait until the numbers go down. And so that maybe if, maybe if we're like, okay, fans can't be at these certain places until, numbers go down, then maybe people will start social distancing, wearing masks or whatever, because now you're really, messing stuff up.
Long shot.
I feel like you're trying to a message. I feel like you're trying to put it out.
Wear your mask.
Right.
But I guess that, because there's no tailgating.
Right.
There's not going to be. If you ever been to the NFL game, just like in basketball, those places are super crowded.
Right.
And so seeing the stadium, no fans or even 25% is going to look very, very different. So it's a lot on the table that in the next few weeks we'll see. I know the NFL has canceled 2 of its preseason games, and their discussion of likely just having 1 preseason game, in part because the guys who are trying to get on the squad, this is the toughest year for them to try to make it.
It's gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you prove yourself?
Right.
And
it's gonna hurt this rookie class.
Yeah. Especially with undrafted free agents.
Yep. That's trying to make the team. Yeah.
And then
it's one of those things where it's like if you weren't like one of the top players coming out or whatever, it's gonna be rough.
But even those top guys, I mean, they still play in preseason games, to get their feet wet and to just get the feel of the game. Now you're just gonna throw them in, like Joe Burrow. You have one preseason game or no preseason game. Now you got to throw this guy in week 1, and this is his first time seeing action. Like, how productive are they gonna really expect him to be?
Right.
So it's gonna be a tough situation.
It'll be hopeful that those guys could sit, some of those guys, for a little while, but you put people out there to make the money, but hopefully don't. The NFL is an interesting league versus like an NBA or some other leagues. NFL is very owner driven. So we have that. Well,
somebody find our owner, tell them we looking for him.
Well,
we ain't seen Jerry Jones since April. Since the draft.
Yes, I've been on my yacht. I ain't fooling with y'all. Y'all got COVID out there. I'm gone.
Jerry Jones, we looking for you, Jerry. We looking for you, man.
With all that being said, hopefully next week or the week. So we're gonna take, if that's all right with everybody, we and Sister Circle gonna take 1 week off. Because there's some prepping that some folks got to do for schools and all that. It's a lot going on, trying to make adjustments on the fly. And I just want us to, those educators. I know Jason is married to one. I'm married to one. AJ is married to somebody that has to go out and do special speech pathology. And one day we're going to get my man booed up too. If any single ladies out there,
y'all be a preference.
All the single ladies,
Minister Nation got a good job. He's an assistant store manager. And that's not like it's an assistant manager at the shoe store. You see, he's about to ranch. I'll give my boy, we ain't teaching nothing. We want to make sure you got the income. Don't come to Jermaine. Income now. You come to your teacher income. You gonna appreciate you. Anyway, I want to leave.
I'm not touching that one.
I want to leave my boy out. But we got a lot of people making adjustments. A lot of discussions going forth, and I just want y'all to please keep those folks in your prayers. This Wednesday coming up with Sister Circle, they will be discussing, the reentry, bringing a trustee from the Richardson School District in to have that discussion, and I think that's going to be real good with them. But at the same time, on our side, as the brothers in the house. Many of us who are married to these educators, many of them are the ladies of our lives. Now, I know Jason's much like me. I can't raise these kids by myself. Oh no! And so, as the NFL player, talking about what the owners are going to do. Please, school, what you about to do?
Right.
I'm not raising these kids by myself.
Yeah.
So y'all just please keep them in the prayers. We're gonna take this one little week off. That help us get retooling. Let us know how you think about the theme song. When putting that theme song out, I thought about Jason. So yeah, I want to make sure I want to ask his critique after we thought about it. But the theme song, we're working on that. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our Victory Facebook page. If you can, always just lift us up in prayer. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night. It's 8 o'clock. Thank y'all. Brothers AJ, brother Jermaine, and brother Jason. Thank you. Jason with the greatest shoe game in America right now.
Don't be trying to send people to my house, man. I got Cam in the back now.
Right. She said, my daddy got certificates. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's a little right there. I ain't got to see Cam in a minute. She ain't lost. She's been grown back. So, see, and she already been schooled up. She know not to touch them shoes. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank y'all for being here. We're gonna see y'all in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. 2 weeks. All right, 2 weeks. Y'all take care, and y'all take care. Thank y'all, and God bless.